Hello! Welcome to the Vintage Computing Christmas Challenge 2024. The challenge where you code a given shape in as few bytes as possible. Let me first talk some theory to you. I want to talk about types of programming languages. Yeah, I would divide programming languages into low-level programming languages and high-level programming languages, where low-level languages are things like assembler and machine language. And then the high-level programming languages can be divided into general-purpose languages and domain-specific languages. General-purpose languages are such languages where you can just program everything like C, BASIC, Pascal, maybe Java, etc. Yeah, and then we have domain-specific languages which are done for some certain purpose, like for databases, for data analysis. Maybe you want to mark up something, or it's for the web, or you want to solve mathematical problems, etc. Yeah, so why I'm talking about this? Well, this time I had the idea to separate the compo into different categories. And what came out was the following. We will have the category machine language with all the different assemblers and so on. Then we will have the most popular uh, computing system, programming language, or you could even call it operating system, back then from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, BASIC, yeah, which always was very popular and which is easy to use. And all other languages I will put together. Yeah, in fact, I could separate it into general purpose languages and domain specific languages, but it's not worth it because it are not that many entries, but it are mostly very special entries. So I think we can start. Let's start with BASIC, the most popular language back then in the 80s. You were just hearing the song Present, which is a title which fits very well for this challenge. So, how about this present? How does it look like? How can you implement a code for it? The present has a certain shape with different characters, and what you can see is you kind of have three horizontal lines. They are marked blue in this graphics, but you also have vertical lines, columns so to say, and when you put this together they will cross at certain edges, and there are 9 crosses, junctions, which have been marked with a plus. So let's look everything together. We have on the top the ribbon, which consists out of 3 different characters. Additionally, you have also 8 spaces. Then you have the main object, which consists of 3 characters plus space. And yeah, we were just talking about it. They have a distance of 8 characters. And yeah, how could you now implement this? There are several ways. You have seen some of them already in the solutions before. And you can see that we have 3 times the same line. So you could put this somehow together. And you can see that there are 8 similar lines between those other vertical lines. Also, this could be merged together in the code, or for example with a loop or repeating something, however. Yeah, and what you see, it's also the same mathematical formula included, because it's always the step of 9 elements when something will repeat again. So you see it, we have 2 times this 8 columns. And well, on the bottom we have a third line, and this is kind of a little bit irregular and might be implemented a little bit different depending on the code. Yeah, so altogether the thoughts for this object, you will somehow need something like modulo 9. You need some kind of sequence where it's true, wrong, 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 and true again, just to mimic the different columns and also lines. You might need something like a space function in order to save bytes. Yeah, and you have different characters which you have to access at the right position. So maybe having a very intelligent formula might help, or maybe you will need to construct several different strings. Yeah, there are many solutions we have today, almost as many solutions as last time. So let's look further what people did. Ho ho ho! Time for some wild entry. And what you can see here is the code. The code for a Christmas present on the Vectrix, an awesome machine from France, which makes lines alive like on no other machine. When I see this picture, I just imagine a spaceship fighting against 4 squares, just like in Arkanoid. Christmas Vectors was created by Kratznagel. And this Spectrum release is from Marcos Retrobits. He created the Spectrum present in the wild category. It constructs the present in a different way than usual, because this time the separate characters are printed in a random order, which gives this a really special feeling and also a special code. You can see that the characters are drawn and it looks like it becomes slower and slower, but in fact it's just overdrawing the old characters and you cannot see it. So just let's wait until the end and you will see finally, by random chance, every character will be printed onto the screen. Just a few ones are missing. Ho ho ho, and even more wild stuff. Right now you see an Atari program by Myra. It's called Merry Rectangular Xmas. And this program running on the VIC-20 Commodore is called Package Tree Star by Anders APAC. You will see several motifs from the Vintage Computing Christmas Challenge from the past years and from this time. Here you see how Great Defender is working on his basic entry. Don't disturb him. Psh. As you just could have seen, I also entered my very own entries, but do not worry, I wasn't able to cheat because I created all entries before submission was open. This entry from Das Knowles brings the Christmas present into a complete new dimension, namely into the third dimension. We will get a three-dimensional Christmas present which is built up from the top to the bottom, and it includes the ribbon in the middle of the present. Enjoy the construction and multiple colors of the three-dimensional Christmas present. Please forgive me that I'm cutting the video a little bit to make it faster. While the Commodore Basic V2 for the Commodore C64 was very dominant for the entries with around 90-80 bytes, now BBC Basic is coming in, and it is a very good basic which allows you to create real short programs, and they are really smaller than the Commodore 64. The basic is much better. It gets easier. It's just like a mixture of the very strong locomotive basic from the CPC and the really good compressed from the Commodore 64. Now we are at 66 bytes with an entry from Flex Cottage on the BBC Micro. And there is also a Spectrum entry with 64 bytes. Is there less bytes possible or not? And wow, suddenly we have 53 bytes reached by David Bain with his entry. This is also the winner of the basic category. Congratulations. Now we could either continue with assembler or with the other programming languages. But as the other programming languages are less entries, I would say we do this at the end. And it will be exciting to know which category will present the shortest entry of this combo. But of course we know we cannot really compare it, so it doesn't matter, it's all for fun. So let's continue with assembler. We are just in the middle of the assembler category, so why not another wild entry? This entry for the Amstrad CPC has been done by Dr. Snuggles. The special thing about it is hidden in the sector 42, so it virtually has 0 bytes. And here we see the grow box by Dr. Beep himself. The Christmas present is growing and shrinking and changing its colors. It's totally generic code, I guess, and this is what this challenge is about, to write code that will work for many different situations and not just one specific one. Ho ho ho! So many great assembler entries for different computer systems. And did someone say wild entries? This entry is by Sabata PhD for the Commodore C64. It shows that with the selection of different characters and by resizing the object, some nice effects are possible. Just enjoy this different interpretation of the Christmas present. This entry by a stand is similar but different. It's for a different system and the picture looks different, but the idea is similar and we see a blinking present with the initials Vintage Computing Christmas Challenge. Thanks for this nice entry. And now let's go on with the assembler entries. Ho ho ho! It's time for some statistics. While I will not reveal the number of entries, I can tell you that there are around 135 entrants from over 40 different countries. and there are over 75 different computer systems involved. All the data is out of what you entered into your entries. It is getting more and more exciting. We have already reached a byte size at the assembler category, which is smaller than the best entry in the basic category, and we know that the entry in the basic category was really fantastic. So how is it going on? We know how it's going on. We will watch some more white entries. This entry is by Dave Akabashi 555. It's written for the VZ200, VZ300 or Laser 210, Laser 310. It's a demo for a very specific special machine. Enjoy the graphics and the sound, hopefully. Well, I hope your ears are still intact. Sorry for the sound, maybe it was just my emulator, which might not have been set up correctly. The next entry will not hurt your ears because it contains no sound. It's for the Atari and it shows you some nice, really nice raster effects by Ken Jennings. We have just reached the incredible small size of just 46 bytes. Can it go smaller than this? We had entries for Amstrad, for the C64, for the Spectrum. The processors fighting against each other are the MOS 6502 and the Zilog Z80. And of course, variants of both. So who do you think is gonna win? How small do you think the smallest programs in the assembler category will be? Well, we will know soon, after some more wide entries. What you can see now is a little cool program by Retrobroke written for the Amstrad CPC. It's written in BASIC and still shows a very beautiful, wonderful graphic and also stunning effects. Here is the code, and then let's see what the code is actually performing. Here is the normal present, and now the present gets some colors and much more beautiful, and as said, the special effects with the vertical scrollers on the sides. Lovely entry. The next entry by Septimus is a snake simulation which eventually leads into the Christmas present. It's like a small engine with different objects. Just look and see. 32 bytes. Who would have thought that it goes down so far? And even 41 bytes is possible, and this on the Z80 processor on an Amstrad by a long shot, and even another one with 41 bytes by Gears, who now reached also the first rank. Wow. Well, the assembler finished very well with 41 bytes on both big 8-bit computer processors. What an amazing fight. It was predictable that it should be smaller than the basic entry, and it was like that. And now only one category is left, and we don't know, will it be shorter or not? Will the history repeat like it has been in the years before? Let's see. Well, there are no wild entries anymore, but the other category is a very interesting one. So let's look into some details of some entries. First entry I want to show you is by Dirk Schnaubpfeil. He has a very special setup with a TI-59 and a printer. Look into it. And here you can see circuit coding. Coding in a very special language, namely Lisp, and this with a very special editor with Emacs. This combination is just ace. Well, this entry doesn't look that special from the start, but when you look into the details, you will know how special it is. First of all, it's JavaScript, which is not special these days, but this entry is back from the last century with an old version for Windows 98. This not being enough, look at the code. The code is obfuscated and beautifully formatted. So, a really nice entry, actually running in the wild category. As there are not so many entries from now on, the code sizes shrink rapidly. We are now at 66 bytes with an entry from a stand for lure. Now we have 63 bytes with APL, a programming language, which is often winning competitions. Here an entry in Python with 57 characters. Now APL again, and 40 bytes only. Shorter than the winning entry in assembler, and 34 bytes with this entry, which we can look into very quickly. And that's it. That was the winning entry in this category. But of course, I will not be the winner. The prizes will go to people who are not me, and everybody will be informed about the prizes. I heard that we will get some more issues of Brew Otaku than initially planned, so some happy people will be surprised by that, and all other prizes just will be the same. And if there are several people on the first rank, and if there is just one book, so it will be selected randomly who is gonna win the issue. So let's look into the APL code I was producing just a little bit. Well, first let's see if the code itself is working. So now you see that we have the typical construct of the 4 characters which have to be chosen, and here an array is created. Let's see how the array looks like without a translation into an object. So every number is representing a different character. 1 is for space, 2 is for the minuses, 3 is for the pipe, and 4 is for the pluses. And now we can just see what it's building up to. So all in all, it's all about creating this row of what other programming languages used to code with modulo 9. It's a sequence of 1, 8 zeros, and 1 again, and so forth. Yeah, that's it mainly what is about this code. And here is a short way to add the ribbon, which is built in reverse order in order to save some bytes. Finally, thank you to everybody who took part in this challenge. I hope you had a lot of fun, and we have seen so many wonderful entries, the short assembler entries and the great basic entries, but also so many wild entries and entries in other languages on so many different machines. What's left to say is I wish you a really nice Christmas time, a happy new year 2025, and may the next year get better and better as we have many hard years behind us. Bye bye.